Today I want to talk about a character whose elimination may have been one of the most important eliminations in Blue Lock for us, the audience, and Isagi. Asahi Naruhaya debuted in Chapter 2 as a member of Team Z, and Naruhaya's greatest weapon is to be able to fly across the pitch. I will get into more detail later in this video and why the 2v2 match between Naruhaya and Baru versus Nagi and Isagi was one of the most important matches in the manga. Naruhaya wasn't a player during the first selection that had a great impact on the team because of his great skills on the pitch. He was more known as a kind of jokester of Team Z who lightened the mood in the team. He especially loved to prank his teammate Kagamaru by regularly stealing his food, for example. And thanks to his teammates, Naruhaya managed to survive the first selection and teamed up with Baru in the second selection to challenge the team of Nagi and Isagi in a 2v2 match. Naruhaya knew that he wasn't a super skilled player compared to all the other players, that he wouldn't get picked if he loses the match. At the beginning of the match, Naruhaya revealed that his true intention behind challenging Isagi was that he believed that Isagi was easy to beat, as he saw Isagi's playstyle during the first selection, and he knew that Isagi wasn't a player who was known for his dribbles or great shooting, and that he was a player who needed to rely on others, for example kunigami, jigiri, and bachira. And he was right. At that point and during the first selection, Isagi basically was the playmaker and brain of Team Z, but was barely able to score goals by himself. So when the 2v2 match started between Nagi and Isagi versus Baru and Naruhaya, the focus was instantly on the matchups Nagi versus Baru and Isagi versus Naruhaya. And as Naruhaya expected, Isagi struggled to be a help to Nagi in the match, and Team Baru dominated the match in the beginning. The reason therefore was that Isagi couldn't find a strategy to get past Naruhaya or Baru by himself so that he could be a help to Nagi, and by the way, without Nagi, Isagi would have been eliminated in that match for sure. But Naruhaya was able to be the workhorse for Baru and assisted him with great passes and gave Isagi some problems in defense, because Naruhaya's biggest weapon and skill actually was the off-ball movement, which Isagi never really thought about until this point. Isagi has always been good in intercepting passes from opponents and especially in creating attacks and plays for his teammates. These two skills have always been his biggest strength and part of his spatial awareness. But Naruhaya, on the other hand, was super skilled to break defensive formations and moving into players' blind spots to get past them. So Naruhaya was able to create plays without the ball, while Isagi usually created attacks with the ball. And by realizing this, Isagi was finally able to adjust his movements and playstyle in the offense, be a help to Nagi and create some space. So thanks to Naruhaya, Isagi learned to be a nowadays so-called space interpreter, or Raumdeuter in German, like Thomas Müller, who made his playstyle famous and manifested it during his career. So we can also say that Naruhaya kind of taught Isagi another basic, another piece in the puzzle, which he needed to be able to awaken the meta vision later. Unfortunately for Naruhaya himself, he just wasn't talented enough, which was the reason why he couldn't copy Isagi's direct shot, as he isn't able to adjust to situations. He's just no clinical finisher, and therefore has no potential to become the striker Ego is searching for, which is also the reason why him and Baru lost the match against Nagi and Isagi in the end. But like I just said, Naruhaya wasn't also important for Isagi's development, he was also important for us the viewers, to get a different perspective on the whole project. Until this point, we have only seen characters who took part in this project out of selfish and egoistic reasons, to become the world's best striker. Isagi because he wanted to become a pro player, Baru because he wants to be the king on the field, Kunigami so that he can be glorified as football superhero, and Bachira because he wants to please his inner monster, and so on, just in different variations. But with Naruhaya, we got to see a completely different motivation for the first time, a new perspective, that there are actually also people who see football as their only chance to escape from poverty and earn enough money so they can provide for their family. We've seen a little flashback of Naruhaya, how he lost his parents due to an accident, which meant that he had to take care of his siblings, do part-time jobs to earn money for them, and also train so that he can achieve his dream of becoming a pro football player. We also saw how his sister gifted him chocolate as a good luck charm, with good luck messages from everyone, because the family just couldn't afford any better charm. So when Naruhaya lost and looked to Isagi with a smile and told him that Isagi must promise him that he won't lose, man, every time I see this panel, I just get goosebumps. There's no better panel in the manga than this one, where we got so close to realizing that achieving your dream means to destroy another's dream, which can sometimes be exciting like in chapter 1 when Isagi destroyed Kira's dream, and sometimes be very, very bitter. After knowing Naruhaya's true intention why he participated in Blue Lock, and after seeing how much he fought in the 2v2 match and how he encouraged Isagi, although he lost and couldn't fulfill his dream anymore, made Naruhaya one of my favorite Blue Lock characters. Because out of all Blue Lock members, Naruhaya was the only one with a, let's say, real motivation. I know he and his family will be fine, as his sister already said that although they don't have much money, they are doing actually well. But nevertheless, it's still heartbreaking to see that Naruhaya couldn't fulfill his promise in the end. I hope we might get to see him again in the future, where he might talk to Isagi before a special match, for example, to encourage him maybe alongside all the other former Team Z members who didn't make it through Blue Lock. That would be really, really cool to see. Alright, what do you think about Naruhaya? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, stay safe and have a nice day.